Okay guys, so here we are after georeferencing all the PNGs. You can see them all layered up here behind the buildings. But now I will remind you again, we're recreating this image. And for this map recreation in particular, the use of colours is quite important in the way that the map is read. Because of it being flooding, the darkest colours mean where the flood zones are more, and the lighter colours mean where they're less. So for us, it's important that now we vectorise the layers we've imported and then change their colour to ensure accurate communication. Because right now, the colours that we have used will help us with vectorising, but maybe won't explain the map as well as we would want it to. As well as we're going to change colours of the other areas like the roads and buildings to better let the map explain what it needs to say. That being said, we'll start by vectorising each layer. As we have been doing throughout the course of this recreation, we'll start with the first layer being 0.03 and then moving on with the rest. Okay, so to start the vectorising process, we'll simply click on the layer we want to vectorise, head up here to raster, where we go conversion, and then raster to vector. It will then bring up this pop-up, and we can leave it all as is, and then you simply run. And it will run that for you, and you'll see a new layer pop up in a different colour, which you can see here. We will then repeat the process for all the other layers, and then once that is done, we will then go through changing the colours. Okay, so here you can see I've followed that process for all the other layers, and they all give us this extra layer called vectorize, and you can also see the colours have changed. So this is where we then have to save the new layer, as right now you can see it has this little toggle, but we want to save it and then be able to use it as a layer in QGIS. To bake the layer into QGIS, we simply tap on this little dongle and it will ask us how we would like it to save. We would like it to be a shapefile, and we also want to call it, this is the 3 meter one, so we can call it 3 meters plus. So just following the same concept that we have throughout all these tutorials, maintaining those layers. So then, okay. Great. You can see here now that there's no longer that chain dongle, which means it is in the project. If we weren't to do that and we were to hop out of the file and close it down, these layers would no longer stay. So that is why we do it. And then I would also just go through and then rename this layer to 3 meters plus. Great. So you can go ahead and do that for all the layers and save them into a place where if you need them again, you can. So this would be like importing a shapefile like we did back when we were importing the buildings. You can redo this into any file once it is created its own shapefile. So now you can see I've gone ahead and baked those layers into the file. And now we can start changing their colours. Just to be reminded of what the image looks like, this is what it will be. We'll be recreating again. So we want to have this 3 meter plus one being the darkest colour, and then so on and so forth. I've gone ahead and done the river, which would be the darkest colour. And now I will show you the 2 to 3 meters, which would be the second darkest blue. We don't have to exactly copy the map, but we can pick a colour that is a little bit different. So you simply do that by just right clicking on the layer, and then you go to properties. This opens up everything about the layer to you. Once this is open, we can head to symbology, and this has a whole bunch of different ways to symbolize the data, but for us, we're going single symbol, and you can see here that it had on the file that the fill is one colour and then it has an outline in black. But we want to change this to have the outline and the fill all the same colour. So you can simply do that by heading to simple fill just here and changing the colour. Because this is the second deepest meter in regards to flood, we want to make this the second darkest blue. So you simply just go into colour fill, or you can pick from any of the blues, just making it a bit darker than what we had originally. So something like this could work well. And then we also want to make that the same colour for the outline. So what I would do is highlight the code, copy it, press OK, and then in stroke colour, paste it there. So they're exactly the same blues. From here, you simply just press apply and OK, and you will see that it has changed on our layer and on our map. Now I will complete this process for the rest of the layers, as well as the roads and the buildings, and then I will show you the finished product. Great, so here you go. Here is the completed map. I have changed the buildings and the roads to black so they don't stand out as much, and then here you can see the flooding levels, and that is how you recreate the flood map in QGIS, Rhino and Photoshop.